Everybody, it's Mark Arnstein, Remax Hallmark, and of course, livingnorthtoronto.com. This is the Mark Arnstein Show. This is episode number 23. And today I'm really pleased to welcome my very good friend, Mr. Andy Yu from Baker Real Estate. Andy, thank you for joining us today.
Mark, thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here.
I'm excited to have you. So just give you guys a quick background. Baker is a multi-million-dollar development, is built on the millions of complex decisions that require complex answers. Every detail must be addressed, and every small nuisance makes a big difference. It takes experienced people, intelligent insights, and true partnership to ensure every one of those millions of decisions is in time with the market and tuned with the project. It takes Baker Real Estate Incorporated. We've been Canada's leading pre-construction sales and marketing partner for over 25 years. We have the experience to guide projects from inception to completion and beyond. We have the people to work alongside you in a cohesive partnership. We have the ambition to develop new tools and technology to stay one step ahead of the market. And we have the dedication to stay right next to you, maximizing value in every moment along the way. When everything counts, count on Baker. So that's the company profile, which is pretty cool. I love it. And our good friend, Mr. Andy here, brings to the table more than a decade of experience as a new construction and marketing professional and platinum agent as a sought-after sales team leader. His expertise includes strong relationships with many developers and top producing agents in Toronto. His passion and enthusiasm for the industry fit well with Baker corporate philosophy. Previously, Andy was running the sales and marketing for numerous iconic projects. A multifaceted professional, Andy was top producer on numerous projects in the city before joining a sales and marketing firm in the pre-construction industry. His diverse knowledge base and experience on the broker side uniquely qualify him as a critical member of the Baker team. So please welcome again, Mr. Andy Yu, Vice President at Baker.
Mark, thank you very much. It's actually 30 years. Baker's actually celebrating their 30-year anniversary this year.
Oh, well, they got to update their website.
We got to update their website. I know, we're on it. It's gonna be updated soon, coming soon.
Right.
But yeah, no, Baker's been around 30 years. Just a few quick stats too: $83 billion in real estate sales.
Wow.
83 billion, 115,000 homes. It's crazy. We have about 16,000 Baker Realty partners that we deal with. A lot of the agents, the top producing agents in the city, actually subscribe with us and have done deals with us because, again, our breadth of knowledge and our market reach, because we sell probably the most pre-construction condos compared to any other sales and marketing firm in Toronto.
Right.
Interesting stat too. We actually looked at the numbers from Altus. Q1 2022, when the interest rates started to pick up, start to rise, the hardest time to sell real estate, Baker actually sold 51% of all the pre-construction sales in Toronto.
Good for you guys.
Again, not Baker stats, Altus stats, right? So,
yeah.
Legitimate stats. And I think that shows that, again, our attention to detail, and we know how to sell in a difficult market too. So we've been through great times and more difficult times. And again, we've seen that great success.
And what made you join Baker in the first place? So,
like you said, I used to be a realtor as well and selling pre-construction. I used to own a brokerage as well too. I've always wanted to be on the pre-construction side of the industry. So an opportunity came up. I came into the pre-construction side with a different firm. I learned a lot from that firm as well too. I grew, and I decided I wanted to take the next step and join a more corporate, a larger firm as well too. And I landed here at Baker. And you know what? It's been a year. It's actually my 1 year anniversary, probably this week.
Oh, congratulations!
So,
yay,
perfect timing.
1 year! Yay!
So yeah, no, I've been in the pre-con side for about 3-4 years now, and you know what? I've been loving it ever since.
Awesome. And you guys are located just over at Yonge and Lawrence. Actually, we're neighbors.
Yep.
So we're just down the street from each other, from where my office is and where your office is.
Yep.
And you and I first met just earlier, right before the end of last year.
Yep.
We were on a panel together, and we had a great time.
We had lots of fun.
Yeah, we were having a good synergy going on. We were, I think, not to toot our own horns, but I would say we were kind of like the leaders of the pack as far as answering the questions that people were asking us as far as
for sure.
Thoughts and comments on the market. And one of the things I was so impressed with your presentation and with you was that your really overall market knowledge was amazing. Given that, your focus is in one segment of the market, but yet your overall knowledge was quite exceptional, which was really cool.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've been a realtor, so I've done my resale as well too. I know how resale works. I know how commercial deals work. I've done my pre-con deals on the other side as an agent as well too, and now I represent developers. Right. So again, like I said, I have that knowledge and that unique situation where I've been on both sides of the table.
Right. So with that being said, right now, where there's so much talk about what's happening, especially in the overall real estate market. Everyone, and I had this conversation actually earlier today on an appointment where, the agent who's looking for himself, who actually ironically does multifamily residential infill work, but on big subdivision style projects. So he didn't really know much what's going on the residential side as far as the stats and the values and stuff go. But the media does this great job of portraying it as like the world is coming to an end, the sky's falling, it's Chicken Little kind of a thing, and yet that is completely not the case. I had done a vlog earlier this year where we showed how the market was actually up 19% overall from January 2019 to January of 2023. So, and the biggest concern, I think, for what you guys is in the condo market side of that thing, how are things working there?
I think the condo side of things, there is demand still there. And I think that demand is continuing to rise because people understand that interest rates will come back down.
Right.
And I think that's been the biggest damper of the market right now. With interest rates rising, you have all these people on the side of the fence saying, you know what, I'm afraid of interest rate rising, that uncertainty. But we've seen a kind of a pause on the interest rate hikes, and we all know interest rates cannot rise forever. And when they drop, you'll see that huge pent-up demand,
right,
which is why pre-construction makes sense. Because you're buying pre-construction now with a closing date 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years down the road. Right. And by that time, we all anticipate that interest rates will stabilize. And the biggest factor on why pre-construction still has that, I guess, fuel in the tank, and we're still seeing sales, is because we all know that Toronto continues to grow.
Right.
We have huge numbers of immigration coming into the city, and that is going to cause a supply and demand issue. We have never built enough homes. We are undersupplied. We have a supply issue, and that is being compounded now, and we're going to have even a larger issue by the time in the next 3 or 4 years, in my opinion.
Oh, I think it's even going to be sooner than that.
For sure.
I think if the government's plan to bring in all this immigration coming into into Canada, and let's face it, it's called a spade. The majority are either going to go where? 2 places. They're going to go Vancouver or they're going to come to Toronto.
Toronto, for sure.
Right? Because they're the 2 major cities of Canada. And right now, we don't have, like you said, enough housing to facilitate all of this. And you're going to see the massive demand is going to go into rentals.
Yep.
Right. And the increase, which has already started to happen already.
Definitely.
And then you're going to see that translate and carry over into the condo market because people are going to go, well, wait a second, why am I going to spend $3,500, $4,000 a month on a rental and pay someone else's mortgage when I can do that for myself?
Exactly.
Right. And you're starting to see that happen as far as with their sales, and is that
we still have we're seeing great sales velocity again. Last year, at the kind of probably the one of the difficult times in the market. So I launched Forma.
Right.
Again, landmark design building, Frank Gehry design building, and we've seen huge success. We're going to announce construction starting pretty soon in the next couple of months. We're almost $1 billion of sales there in one building. 8L might launch us also during, again, that uncertain times too. We're hitting construction numbers as well. And most recently, in January, about a month and a half ago actually now, I launched a site at Olive at Yonge and Finch, and we're already hitting construction numbers.
Yeah.
Right? So there are buyers out there, and they do want to buy. And it's those smart buyers and those smart investors who realize that, this doom and gloom the media portrays, that it's all too much negativity.
Yeah.
The media sells negativity. And unfortunately, negativity sells. And that's why they do it. And I understand
Welcome to my world.
I know.
Welcome to my world. I talk about this all the time. I'm like, tell clients, don't listen to the media. You want to know what's going on in the market? Talk to the people who are actually in the market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing sales, we're seeing people buying. The market is not dead.
No.
The market is moving. There are buyers out there. And again, is it slower? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. It is slower. It is a different market, but the market is still moving for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we talk about, and I try and teach my clients all the time, is about building that generational wealth.
Yes.
Right. And pre-construction is actually a really cool way to do that because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds, right? Because on one hand, you can look at it from an investment standpoint and, where you can say, I'm going to buy a condo today at today's price per square foot and anticipate that by the time it's finished construction, 3 or 4 years down the road, it should be up a certain amount of higher price per square foot. So I've kind of hedged my bet. I can turn around and sell it and off I go. Or the other option, as I could do it, I could buy it as a property for my children one day. And then, when it's done, rent it out and then wait till they're old enough to move into it. Or the other option is like as a condo buyer, I can buy something knowing that I don't have to worry about financing it until it's finished, and I only have to put down a couple of deposits along the way.
Exactly. And that's the benefit of pre-construction. You said it perfectly, because your deposits are paid, whether it be 15, 20% over X period of time. So you don't have that lump sum of money going out at once. And also you're banking on that, the appreciation, because real estate appreciates. It's a given.
Yeah.
It's you hear about, again, the real estate bubbles, but at the end of the day, real estate will always appreciate.
Well, okay, bubble. You just said it, right?
Yes.
Everyone talks about the bubble. The bubble's gonna burst. The bubble's gonna burst. I've been in this business for now 27 years. Other than probably the minor blip in 2008, 2009, for those who are watching who might not be young enough to understand what I'm talking about, when we had the mortgage crisis in the United States, which kind of put Canada in a bit of this holding pattern of, well, is this guy falling? Is it not falling? And then everyone realized that Canada actually has one of the best banking systems in the world and one of the best mortgage systems in the world. And as quickly as everything came to a standstill, came right out of it. And really we've been, guns a-blazing ever since. And even with the rise in rates that we just had, like you said, the market's slowed down, but nothing's burst.
Nothing's burst, for sure.
Right.
You're absolutely right. In Toronto, the real estate market is very resilient. Every single time we see a little bit of a slowdown, within a year, we come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Like we're on fire.
Yeah.
Like real estate, the rental market is on fire. The sales come back on fire, right? It's within about a year period is when you'll see that kind of flurry of activity again.
Totally.
And again, it's that pre-construction side of things where, like you said, you have that benefit of time as well. Buying for your kids. Me and my wife, we bought a couple of units for our sons as well too. I've got two young boys, and it's an investment for them as well too, to build that to help them again with that generational wealth, and to continue on that investment as well too. So
so you bought 2 units for your boys,
one each, for sure, right now.
Yeah, right. So and are they finished?
No, not finished yet.
Right. Okay. But when they're finished, so because the boys are young, you're just gonna you'll rent them out.
I'll rent them out.
Yeah. So you'll take the income, help pay down the mortgages over the course. And again, there's a couple of things you can do with that mortgage is that you can either run it at a break even.
Yep.
Right. So that you don't have to worry about much of your capital gains. So when it comes time to actually transfer the ownership over to the kids, it's not as big of a hit.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. Or if you want to be aggressive with it, you can get aggressive with it and and jack up the rent and use it to pay down the mortgage. But the other thing, though, what it does, and I think this is so important, is as you build up that equity, you can then go ahead and refinance it, right? And then pull money back out and then go do it again.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's how you build that generational wealth.
Yeah.
You need to be able to kind of get use of that equity in your properties as well too. Pull it out, buy again, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you build that wealth, and again, it's a wealth system that you have for your kids as well too, and for my wife and I when we retire as well too. Then again, we have that income coming in as well too, so it's a no-brainer, I think.
Yeah, no, totally. So as far as Baker goes, different companies will have different deposit structures along the way.
Yes.
When you're doing projects, some are and also pre-approvals and approvals for mortgages.
Yes.
So as far as Baker goes in their process, just do you have to be completely pre-approved, or you just have or finance, or you just have to have a pre-approval?
You typically a pre-approval. So it really depends on the developers.
Right.
What I'm seeing these days right now, most developers are okay with pre-approvals right now. From as long as your lending institution is a tier 1 bank.
Right.
That's kind of their criteria as to kind of whether or not they accept that mortgage pre-approval or not.
Okay.
Deposit structures, like you said, it varies depending on developers as well, and also depends on the sales cycle.
Right.
If you're at the tail end of a sales cycle, you have 10 units left in the building. Developers may do a 5% deposit program, a 10% deposit program. So they will vary that as well too, again, as the sales process go.
Okay. And then typically when you guys get involved in the project, are you guys, once the developer has everything approved and everything's set and ready to go, they're like that, 6 months out before they're ready to start construction, that's when you guys kind of step in to start?
We come in actually a lot before that.
A lot before that.
We come in and we actually assist with land acquisition as well too.
Oh, okay.
I come in mainly when we are designing floor plans.
Right.
Because unfortunately, and no offense to the architects out there in the world, architects sometimes don't understand what sells in the market.
Yeah.
So we work with the architects hand in hand to design floor plans, to make efficient floor plans, to make sure we know what is marketable, because things change.
Okay.
The market can constantly change. So we're in there. We help with the brochure design, marketing design, branding, again, every aspect of it. We're part of.
From the time a developer purchases a piece of land, the time they're, say, ready to start construction, typically what's that time frame look like?
I would say maybe depends again, zoning process and all that as well, depending how far they go. Could be 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
From, again, if it's raw land too. So it really depends.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one of the big things we've come across and we find from our side of the business is that there is a massive demand for the larger unit. That bigger 2-bedroom and den unit that's not under 1,000 square feet. That's more like 12, 16, 18, 2,000 kind of square feet. But the problem right now has been that for a lot of the baby boomers who want to downsize and like get out of their current homes, the cost to do so is a wash, or in fact actually costs them more money. Yeah. So do you see that kind of changing going forward, where that developers might be a little bit more open to creating more of the larger floor plans as opposed to catering to the smaller floor plans, which you can sell so fast and go?
I think it depends on location as well too, and the building quality as well too. If a building's as identified as more of an end user, as a right sizer type of product, then developers are looking at possibly combining suites. Right. So I'm actually working on a project that I can't tell you where yet, but we're actually talking.
Why can't you tell us? Come on.
Because again, we're actually identifying that as a prime location where you'll see a lot of right sizers. Right. I don't like the word downsizers. It has a negative spin to it.
Sure. Right. Actually, that's good. I haven't heard right sizers before. I got to remember that. It's a good one.
So again, when they do that, again, so what we're doing is we're looking at key plates in the building where we can combine used to be 1,500, 2,000 square feet, 2,500. Right. So we have that option to sell that as a combo if the demand is there as a larger suite. If the demand isn't there, we'll sell them off as individual units. So I am seeing more and more developers a little bit open towards that. It does cause a little bit more headaches on the construction side of things.
Right.
But because that demand is there, I'm slowly just seeing a shift toward that direction.
Right.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Now, from a marketing standpoint, what you guys do, just so people understand, how different is it compared to what you do versus what we do?
Very different, I think.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'd rather hear from you than hear from me.
Because again, we're selling off a plan.
Yeah.
We're selling a vision.
Yeah.
We're selling, again, what the building is going to be like. And of course, developers have their projects that they finish as well. So you can kind of see what the build quality is going to be like. But basically what we do is we sell kind of the future. We're looking at floor plans, and it's very different selling off of a plan than it is walking into a brick and mortar, actually a house, right, or a property to see what it's like.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit different on the resale side of things. With respect to we're heavily involved in amenity programming too. So we want to create amenity programming that we feel will be actually used.
Right.
A lot of developers are, for example, are getting away from swimming pools. Why?
Because no one really uses them.
No one really uses them.
And it costs a lot
of money on maintenance fees, right? Yeah. So again, it's a little bit different on the marketing side of things, where we need to create that story as to why this property makes sense.
Right.
And location-wise too, with regards to what's around the neighborhood. And it has a lot to do with educating, right? And in that sense, it's not very different than what you guys do.
Right.
Because for you guys, for the resale market as well too, you guys are educating people about the neighborhood as well too, not only the property.
Yeah.
Same with us too. But I guess for us, it's a little bit of larger scale.
Right. Now, as far as like developers that are out there, are there guys that you're like, just, you know what, we're not going to touch you with a 10-foot pole. We appreciate you wanting to work with us, but like, you're just not really like our cup of tea. Like, do you get that a lot, or is that?
Yes. So for us at Baker, we've been blessed enough that we have a lot of people that are coming to us again for us to market their properties. There are certain developers that don't have the greatest reputation out there that we've decided not to sell for.
Right.
We've had certain developers, of course, I'm not going to say who, come to us 3 or 4 times asking us to sell for them, but we've respectfully declined because we just don't want to be in that situation where we are risking our reputation as well too.
Right. So I have a client today say, who's like pre-con, resell. So I mean, obviously the advantage of buying resale today is that you can have it right away and you can move into it, and but not be new and shiny and necessarily all the bells and whistles and that kind of thing. So if you're talking to someone, what would be the advantages of buying pre-con versus buying resale?
So again, the biggest I think advantage is that you're buying time.
Right.
And you have that appreciation of the real estate, appreciation of that asset, whether it be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You have the appreciation of asset that you don't typically have with resale. You have that resale, but you're paying your mortgage. You've already closed. With pre-construction, you're not putting your deposits out all up front, right? You have that. I guess a spread out payment on your deposits as well too. And you have
just give an idea. So like. Let's say someone's gonna buy we'll use an easy number. So say $1 million. So typically, you're gonna be looking at a minimum 20% down.
15 to 20,
Yeah. Well, but for financing purposes, it'd be 20%. You're 20% down, right? Because it's over $1 million. So anything. So everyone understands. If it was $9.99 cents, you can get down with less than 20%. Once it goes 1 million even, you have to have a minimum of 20% down as your down payment. So if I'm buying in a condo, $1 million condo, and I know the overall the down payment is going to be 20%, but the deposit structure over the course of period of time between the time I put down my first deposit to before it closes is
typically within about. You probably have to pay around 15% within. Sorry, let me backtrack for a second. I'd say 10% within about 6 months.
Okay.
And then 15%. I've seen typically a year, 2 years out, and then nothing until you get occupancy.
Okay, so obviously, 20% down is $200,000.
Yep.
So you're looking at 150 down roughly within the first 6 months, supposed to having put that down all in one shot when you actually if you're going to buy resale, and then you have a bit more time to work. So the advantage, I guess, would be is that then you can keep that money in whatever you have it invested in and allow it to continue to grow
for sure,
right? Before you have to pull all of it out to use it towards your actual purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now with that being said, I know you guys always have some good projects up the sleeve.
Yes.
Is it you think you can kind of give us a bit of a heads up on them?
I can give you again a few sites that we're bringing to market.
Yeah.
We have one very exciting site coming up at King and Strawn.
Yeah.
So King West, great location. You're minutes away from downtown Toronto as well too.
Yeah.
King West is probably one of the hottest places in the city as well too. Great building, boutique building. We're bringing that market. Coming soon. I don't know exactly when yet.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about prices yet. 111 Strawn is the address, but that's not what it's called. I can't tell you the name yet either.
Andy, what can you tell us?
I can't tell you much.
Seriously, you give me an address and a location. That's it.
That's it right now.
Come on, you got to be able to tell me more than that.
Too many people watching.
The viewers would like to know.
So we got one coming up there. We got a great site in Yorkville.
Yeah.
Collier Park. By Capital Developments, great developer as well too. So you got a project coming up there as well.
Now, okay, so that one, for instance, would be more of
right sizing.
Right sizing, yes, right. It's like I gotta remember that right sizing. Very good.
I think so. We're looking at options on larger floor plans as well too. But we also feel that again, proximity to transit. You're 2 minutes away from the Yonge and Bloor TTC as well too.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a mixture of unit sizes there for sure. Okay. We also have another site coming in Burlington called North Shore.
Yeah.
So that's coming soon as well too. 2800 Kingston Road. Again, great location, great developer, a lot of great projects coming down the pipeline. We actually do have a Baker Buzz webinar. Unfortunately, not to the public, but you'll be on. You'll join and you'll hear about all of our upcoming projects and anyone that has kind of any interest on what Baker has to come to offer. Talk to Mark as well too, and he'll know and he'll be in the know to exactly what we're bringing to market in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and again, I think the key on this discussion, I think between you and I think is like, it's the opportunity like about that generational wealth. I think, which is such the key component. I think, you hit it very precisely and very clearly earlier about the fact that you already bought 2 units for your kids, which I think is like phenomenal, like brilliant, right? Excuse me. I have like a duplex down on the beaches. I bought 8 years ago. That is for my kids one day. That is not my retirement plan. That's my kids' door to get into have an opportunity to get into the marketplace
Yes.
when the time becomes right for them to do it.
For sure.
So, and I think as parents, especially, and even if you're not a parent, if you're just looking as someone who has that extra capital line, like it's such an easy process of an investment that has, relatively low risk. Because if you think about it, you invest in a stock, right? A stock can fluctuate up and down, or a stock can just go kapooey belly up and it's done, and you got to write off, and that's about it. The worst case scenario with a pre-con construction purchase is if you decide at the end of the day that it's just not going to be a good time to sell it, you rent it.
You rent it.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you have that asset because you can always rent it. That will never be a problem, theoretically.
Yeah.
I should clarify that because I should never say that. Theoretically, it should never be a problem in renting in Toronto because the demand for rentals is always going to be extremely high.
For sure. And again, like you said, it's that demand because you have, and we talked about it previously, it's that immigration coming into the city.
Right.
The population growth of Toronto. You'll always have demand for a place to live.
Yeah.
Right. And that is key. And generational wealth, like you said, too, it just reminds me of a story where, again, I was on the floor selling. I had a young couple come in and they said they're buying, and we just started to talk.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, they're buying for their kids. I'm like, okay, how old's your kid? Oh, not born yet. Right. So they're already ahead of the game.
Phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. They're already thinking of that. You know what?
Yeah.
I want to buy something. I have this cash. So I'm going to buy it so that my kid has a place to move into or to help them get into the market as well too.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be a dead horse because I think it's so important because and I keep talking about this, but it's one of these things where, look, unless you're in a position where you're in a job that has unlimited potential income growth, there's only so much you can do, right, to get ahead in life and in the world. So if you can take equity or cash, and especially as a pre-con where it's like not necessarily a lot of money up front to get started with, and you can spread it over the course of a period of time, it's such a great way to get your foot in the door and diversify. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the means, put all your eggs in one basket.
100%. I agree.
I want to make that very clear. I think you should always be well diversified.
Definitely.
For sure. But as an additional source of revenue growth potential, this is definitely something I think if you haven't given it any consideration in the past, you definitely should be considering it now. Taking into consideration now. Sorry, make sure I get my words right.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think the timing right now is perfect for pre-construction because of the interest rates.
Yeah.
Because interest rates are still high right now. Like I said, we know they're going to come down. And
well, okay, make sure we make that very clear. So because it's pre-con, you're not financing the deal now.
No.
Right? That's the key, right? This is strictly you just have to make sure you qualify for the purchase when it's ready, and then the rate can be held for you through the finance department at the site. But as long as the rates go down between now and when the building's finished and completes, you can take advantage of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you're taking advantage of that time. You're that like I said before, that appreciation of the asset, and then that time of by the time, and this is my thought too, in my opinion, is that now's the time to buy pre-construction because by the time most of these buildings are complete, you'll have that pent up demand.
Yeah,
you'll, like you said, it's going to come earlier, but I still think it's going to be years where you'll have that pent up demand because we've been playing catch up as an industry on building new homes.
Right,
we haven't built enough homes. For many, many years, and we've been playing catch up for so many years now. The problem has been compounded because of COVID, because a lot of developers have said, you know what, we've decided to hold back on our builds right now.
Right.
So again, we have a further constraint on our supply. And when everything comes back to normal, and I know it's coming, you're going to have this huge pent up demand, supply, demand issue, simple economics.
Yeah.
Right. Lack of supply, high demand, what's going to happen to prices? It's going to skyrocket.
Exactly. And you know what, we haven't spoken about one of the most important parts about this whole thing. Because these are brand new buildings, and they're now have been built after 2018, there's no cap on the rental rate.
Rental rates. Yep.
Yes. So that's the other huge advantage, right?
For sure.
So, which I think is extremely important, is that you're not stuck when that means like there's no rent control. You can up the rent every year as much as the tenant's willing to pay or risk of them walking away, but you're not stuck on the basic inflation number the government gives you on the guideline of 1.75, 2%, which is literally basically nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
So, I just gave my tenant her notice a few months ago that's going up, and her rent went up a whopping $50, right? And she's laughing because she knows if she were to go back out into the marketplace today, she would not be able to find anything close, to what she's paying right now in rent. So I'm stuck with her, and because she pays her rent on time, and she does what she has to do. So I got her until she leaves one day. There's nothing I can do to give her. But on the pre-con side of what we're talking about is that if you buy something today that your plan is to rent it out down the road, you can continually up the rent every year as much as that person's wanted, which is a fantastic situation to be in.
Yeah, because then you're matching the market on what the market is.
Exactly.
And you're not stuck and tied with a certain cap, like you said.
100%.
For sure.
And the other thing is because the rental market has gotten so tight because there's so much demand for rentals, is you can be very picky about who you actually put that into that unit to make sure you get the right tenant.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not to promote myself at this point in time because I don't know what this is about, but obviously that's something that we can help you with.
For sure.
Yeah, and do that with. But the point is that it's, the diversification that offers by buying into pre-con has so much upside, and really at the end of the day, very little downside, if any at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So just kind of moving things a bit forward, do you see the world of pre-con, how it works, how it operates, changing anytime soon? Because everyone always talks about all these disruptors that are going to come into the real estate world, and especially on the residential side. My son's business class at school, every day he comes home and my teacher wants to know what you think about this, because apparently he's very into real estate. So he comes home with loaded questions.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I'm no, not my son, the teacher.
Oh, the teacher.
The teacher. Yeah. So every day he comes home, he's like, yeah, Mr. Bruni wants to know what you think about this. And he wants to know what you think about this. And, he thinks that, another 10 years, there's not going to be a need for real estate agents anymore. Well, I'm like, actually, I completely disagree with that, because at the end of the day, you still need someone who can explain to you the ins and outs of why you need to buy the real estate, like you said earlier, what the neighborhood's all about, what the advantages are for buying this property, not just about the price analysis of it, but all the other benefits that go along with why you want to buy this piece of real estate, right?
Sure.
So, and there's always this new technology that we have coming in that helps us, whether good, bad, or indifferent. But as far as for what you guys do you see anything changing, moving on, going forward into the future, or
nothing drastically? We're always adapting with technology. We're heavily invested in the technology as well.
Yeah.
Again, we have our own infrastructure on the back end that helps us deal with all of our transactions as well too. So the technology behind everything may adapt, may change a little bit, and we're always adapting that. Will it ever come to a point where, sorry, we don't need you, Mark, as a realtor?
Yeah.
No, I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah.
You definitely need the professionals who know what the market is like, who understand the intricacies of real estate, to really guide you through the process. And I don't think, and I don't foresee that ever going away.
Yeah, and I think COVID was a great example of that, right? Because everything went on to virtual tours, but it wasn't necessarily virtual tours where it was just a video showing you the house. It was actually Instagram Live, IG Live, where, I would actually be on Instagram and actually taking you through the tour and be able to explain everything to you and show you everything all in one shot, as opposed to a video. And again, there's videos come in different formats, different ways. And, it's a whole other discussion for another day. But again, there's still got to be someone to guide you on the journey.
Definitely.
Which I think is so important.
Yeah, there's, again, it's different. You hear a lot of people that say, what, I know real estate because I look at real estate every day, right? I understand, you understand it because we look at real estate, we study it, and we understand everything because we're in it every single day. Mm-hmm. Those individuals who feel that I look at real estate listings on realtor.ca once a week, and now I am a professional, you can't compare.
No.
Right.
No.
We live and breathe real estate.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to be able to deal with companies and individuals that truly understand it.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, with us, like I said, and again, not really to toot our own horn, but at the hardest time in the market, when interest rates started to rise, Baker still sold 51%, more than one out of two pre-construction condos in the city of Toronto.
Right.
So again, you have to go with professionals on those who know.
Absolutely. So if somebody wants to get involved in pre-con, like from not working for you guys, but I mean, like I'm talking like actually buying something.
Yes.
So what, they go to Baker, realestate.com, and then
We deal with realtors.
Yeah.
So again, you would go to your realtors. We have sales offices across the city as well too, depending on what location as well too.
Right.
Definitely can reach out to us as well too. But again, we work with a network of realtors like yourself as well
Yeah.
too. Like I said, we have 16,000 realtor partners out there. Any realtor partner can reach out to us as well too. Have your agent reach out to us.
Yeah.
Right. And we're here to help and try
Or
to help
call
you.
me and I'll reach out to Baker. anyways.
Exactly. That works too.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, because we're registered with you guys, and we get all the emails all the time about all the new projects and what's coming up and what's in the pipeline. But again, I think the importance of this discussion for today's purposes was, one, I think it was great for people to get an idea of what Baker is all about.
Yep.
Because we see you guys everywhere, obviously.
Yep.
Number two is the perks and advantages of why going into a pre-construction sale makes so much. Is so important. Sorry, is the best way to say it.
Yep.
And what is that you guys do and what you guys have to offer? Which, Andy, I can't thank you enough for your time.
No, thank you very much for having us. It's been great, and like we should do this again.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. Anytime. If anybody wants to reach out to you directly, just if they ever have any questions, can they? Is that okay? They can do that, or is it best to go through me and then reach?
Best to go through you.
Yeah.
I'm bombarded by emails.
So what you're saying is, I don't want to talk to the public. I only want to talk to the people I like. No, it's okay. No, all good. Yeah. So if you have any questions about Baker and what they have, their projects and what's going on, obviously you can always email me, mark@markarnstein.com, and I can get in touch with Andy and then go from there and relay any information back and forth, which is
sure.
and about all these little secret projects that you have on the go that you don't want to tell us about. So
Yes.
yeah. So there's like, one at Strathern, but he doesn't want to tell us other than the address. He won't tell us the name. He won't tell us anything. But that's okay. I understand. We appreciate it. It's all good. Andy, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and we'll speak again soon next time. Bye-bye.